Hey everybody, Allie Washington here with the new edition after show. All right, it all started about 39 years ago, 1978 in Orchard Park, and look at us now. Now we're doing a whole after show. All right, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more.
You're tuning into the destination for TV super fan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Always makes me happy.
So happy. Because I love candy.
Jesus Christ. I love candy and I love New Edition. I love BET. I love being black. I'm just celebrating.
Black excellence right here.
I'm just living in my black girl magic, my black boy joy. I'm just excited about it all. Okay?
Black boy joy.
Jesus. All right. Allie Washington here, and I'm your host today for AfterBuzz. It's a live recap of New Edition's after show with BET. I'm just excited, guys. Yeah. Okay. Introduce yourself so everybody know who you are.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Franceli Chapman. You can buzz me at all things at Celly Hangout.
What's up? My name is TK Trinidad. You can follow me on everything, TK Trinidad. That is it.
What's up, AfterBuzz? I'm your friend Dominique Cerita, and just like Ronnie and Johnny, I'm the new addition to AfterBuzz. You can buzz me at Dominique Cerita on Instagram and Twitter.
She been practicing that.
Yeah.
It's our first show. Check it out. We also have some new additions to the AfterBuzz family. All right, so we want to go ahead and let you guys introduce yourself, starting with you, ma'am.
Hey, I'm Rachel Currence. You can check me out at Rachel_Currence.
All right.
Hey, I'm Melvin Jackson JR, and I play critical in the New Edition story.
What's up, everybody? My name is Noel Braham, and I play Ray Parker Jr. You can follow me at Noel_Braham.
Hey.
There you have it, honey.
It's so much joy in here.
It really is.
I'm so happy.
All right, guys. So let's start off with the preliminaries. Okay, me and Rachel were talking about it a little bit at the beginning before we came in. Highest telecast for BET in 5 years.
Come on, somebody.
Over there.
And if that many BET awards, they can add up to that. Okay, I'm so excited for them. First of all, because whoever they have in there that really fought for this, really did their thing, and I feel like the voices were definitely heard on this.
It was a bunch of people championing for this. Like Robbie fought hard, and a bunch of other people at the top at BET were fighting hard for this thing. So kudos to them. For sure.
Indeed.
We thank y'all.
Yes, indeed. 4.4 million total viewers on Tuesday.
Come on.
Jesus. 2.6 million of those were the age ranges between 19 and 49. And so that's kind of crazy because 19-year-olds, they know nothing about New Edition.
Right.
You know, I'm 25, and I'm just like, my mama had to tell me I was a New Edition baby. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, for 19-year-olds to be watching it is pretty dope.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then for it to be such a young cast as well. So let's start there, okay?
Yes. Casting.
First of all networks should have been having a notepad with pen and paper, taking notes on how to do a proper fire pick. Because this is probably the best one that I've seen ever.
Yes, it was done so well. And these little kids.
Yeah, man.
So freaking brilliant and talented.
Yeah.
Little boys just singing their hearts out.
Can we just give it up for Robbie? She did an excellent job with
She
the
really did.
Excellent job.
And Kim Coleman as well. She helped with casting as well. Shout out to them.
So Tyler Williams played Bobby. Jahai Winston played Ralph. Mouse Truitt played Ronnie. Caleb McClowan played Ricky Bell. And then Dante Hoagland played Mike Bivins. Boys, y'all are you did your thing.
Point.
Yeah, real trained. I felt like Bobby really looked like that with those ears.
Oh my God.
Everything was just spot on. TV. What did you think about the casting?
Man, the acting was great, the kids were great, and it's the writing. That's kind of what put it together.
Shout out to Abdul. I see you.
Yeah.
The writing was on point. Because you could have had everybody do everything, but the writing wasn't on point and it didn't represent the time. And the music.
Yes.
The music was on point. It just took us...
It just did it, right?
And those are the kids' real voices.
Indeed, and that's what I was going to point out. So the kids really did have their voices out there. Everybody in the cast did, so that's an amazing thing. And then, of course, they had all original rights to the music, same as though New Edition played, executive producers as well. Thank the Lord.
We won't do it sideways.
Because it could have went all the way left.
All the way.
Jesus. So we open up the first part of the series with the onstage fight with Bobby against the group. And then it flashes all the way back to their Roxbury days. Crazy thing that I saw though is that Bobby had stage fright.
Yes.
Oh my God, all people know Bobby.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to go up there and be doing that.
Yeah, Bobby had stage fright. And
You gonna go up there again?
Yeah. I need y'all though. And then he summons the help, of Mike and Ricky that actually went to go to help him perform after he froze up, and that kind of was the start of the group.
Right.
And so then Brooke Payne gets in the building, and that's a cool thing. So it's an uncle kind of big figure person in the building too, to kind of help him out. And then of course everything kind of plays into part. Everybody's a part of the group now. And Ralph is selected to have a solo deal after they perform at this talent show.
That part was amazing.
That to me for a child, because it's
Integrity.
like it's one thing when we're adults.
Yes.
We know the code, you know.
Right.
But for a child to be like, nah, I'm not leaving my brothers behind. It
He
was
made
such
a life decision at age 12.
Hello,
Right.
outside in the cold
That's one
at
of
the
my favorite lines.
payphone.
We
At
don't get
25,
down
I'm
like that. I don't know where you from. We don't get down like that.
Okay.
That was the greatest.
Yeah.
That was one of the greatest lines out of the whole thing. I don't know where you from, probably, but we don't get down like that in the OP. Talk about it.
Yes.
Come on.
Kudos to his mom,
Hello, 'cause she taught him well.
She taught him well.
She did. So offered a solo deal. He leaves it on the table because he said, I got to take my brothers with me. So much so that they absolutely tear the scene up.
Yes.
And so much so that they end up getting success really
Yes.
quick at a really young age. That they actually had the opportunity to headline a tour with Curtis Blow and Madonna.
Right.
that was crazy.
So tell me a little bit about that. How was shooting that?
It was dope. It was me. I was unfortunately had to be mean to the kids, but like those kids
You
are
were.
amazing. And,
I was mad at you.
we had fun. I just loved how when I came on set, everyone was calling me Curtis Blow, and I embodied the character, and it was just amazing scene, amazing opportunity, and definitely glad I was a part of the story.
Awesome.
Oh,
So
you were
how
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I didn't know.
Part one,
I like that part.
See how different parts are playing.
They had him all dressed up.
Yeah. So, were you a New Edition? Are you a New Edition fan before?
Definitely, yes. New Edition was one of my first concerts as a kid, and I've been through all their concerts every time I come to LA. Like I take me and my mom's go. Like it's not a game.
Favorite song?
If it's hard, Can You Stand the Rain?
Oh,
Can You
that's a
Stand the
good
Rain?
one. What about
That's
Curtis Blow? What's your favorite song with him?
If I Rule the World.
Yeah. These are the brains.
Awesome. And so, of course, you were mean to the kids. I want to take everything that I had around me to throw at the TV at you because you was hating on the babies. Because, they couldn't help that they was number one, beating Michael Jackson out with Beat It.
And one thing for the record, Curtis Blow did not say that Nation Islam line. That was something that was chosen by the writer, and we added that. I know that's a big topic of discussion, but
Just had to put that out there for good measure.
Yes, good measure.
Don't attack Curtis.
Don't attack him. Attack me.
Indeed. So that was a really cool moment as well. And they looked up to Curtis Blow so much. And so for them to have that kind of moment, it was almost like, well, dang. Now you're starting to actually see the evolution of your success.
But you see in that moment, it's like, what rapper doesn't have an ego? So
Right,
you think about opening up for kids
In
in
your
your
city.
city.
Yeah.
And the thing was, he didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
So once he saw how hard they worked and who they were, he respected them. And they didn't, you didn't get a chance to see that, but they became cool.
Yeah.
But,
But I love what his uncle said. He was like, you guys are a threat. Right. And it's that moment where they're kind of getting out of their naivete about what they were, this machine that they were. Right. And I think that's a beautiful moment of like when your light shines so bright, you don't always realize that your light is shining out the darkness in people. And so people aren't always gonna like when your light is shining, and that's what he was trying to teach them in that moment, and I love that.
Well, that's a shout out to how hardworking these kids were at age 12. Like at age 12, we were like playing around. They were working hard. They went and got their deal. They went and found their manager at age 12 in the middle of the street.
Singing in front of that car took some
balls.
Like my people say,
Brooke was
cojones.
busy,
Some cojones to do that.
You definitely have to like credit to. There's an author by the name of Malcolm Gladwell, and he says if you put over 10,000 hours into any of your craft,
we were talking about this earlier.
It pushes you forward, and a lot of people quit before they even get started.
Yep.
So if you take these kids that are like 12 and they're starting and they're practicing, and then the uncle comes in and they're like, okay, we're going to do this. Because they could have just said, forget this, I'm going to go to the park.
Yep.
And then there would have been no new addition.
Yep.
So there's something in them that they could just keep working, keep pushing it through. So kudos to them. And all that stuff that you see back then, they're still doing those moves now. It's like riding a bike.
Yep.
Exactly.
So-
Because they ain't never left it.
Remember it. Muscle memory.
And I mean, they could have quit then, and they also could have quit when they got that $1.87.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
When I say $1.87.
How much is that divided by 5? I should have did that.
Well, here's the thing. I did a little research, and each of them got a check for
each of them got
$1.87.
separate.
So it wasn't how they made it look in the movie was that they had to split that dollar, and I was like, boy, of course. I wasn't good at math, but 18 carats, you know. So they each got a check for $1.87, and even then, I mean, that's crazy.
Yes.
Insane.
Oh, God.
Oh, I did.
Working my baby so hard for $1.
I did do the research though, because they said they got a $500 sign notice, and I went to good old Google how much was, because a lot of people were tweeting like, what was that worth in the 80s?
Right.
So the equivalent of $500 in the 80s in 2017 would have been $1,541.88.
And they went
Which
hood, they
really-
got hood rich and went and got mopeds.
That's still not a lot of money.
yeah.
Like in advance to be
Yeah.
$1,500. Like, so anyway.
Hey, they got that dollar, all right? They made it
They
work.
said it could have been Joe Jackson. If you could get Joe Jackson $1.87, somebody would have got shot.
Hello?
But that just shows the lack of knowledge. Like,
Yes.
their parents were all single moms. They didn't know anything about the industry.
Right.
And they didn't have Google to look it up.
No.
So.
Right, definitely.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Well, moving on to part 2.
Ooh.
All right. This is more so where they jump into the beefs and like the publishing deals and figuring out who's going to be who. Who is New Edition?
Right.
This will pull me in, because see the episode 2, I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, it's about to get good.
Yeah, so this is where it gets kind of good. All right, so shout out to the cast. All right, so Brashear Gray from Empire plays Mike Bivins, who did an amazing
Oh
job.
my God.
All right,
Oh my God.
Elijah Kelly plays Ricky Bell.
Also did amazing.
Algie Smith plays Ralph Tresvant. And then Keith Powers. Who Keith?
Oh, Keith.
Keith Powers.
Come on.
Plays Ronnie DeVoe. And then Woody McClain plays the infamous Bobby Brown. And then Grammy Award-winning Luke James kills Johnny Gill.
That voice.
Child, kills it. So we open up with part 2 with Ralph being in the studio. Now, one thing that I will say that I did gather from this whole thing is that Ralph real deal was the real MVP.
The real MVP.
Yeah.
Like
all
he
day.
put in his
in the work.
10,000 hours. He was working.
And more, times 10.
And he
Yeah.
sacrificed a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't complain.
Yeah.
To the end.
Yeah, and to the end. So yeah, we open up with Ralph in the studio, and he's talking to Gary about his frustrations with being the lead singer and being in the front, and how it's always him, and how we need to let them others be known, and how it's all on me. But then from that, we go to them recording in the studio the smash hit "Mr. Telephone Man" with the great Mr. Ray Parker Jr., played by Mr. Noel. So tell me a little bit about that. How was that?
I mean, it was an amazing experience, to shoot with Chris Robinson, and, especially Chris. He's worked with legends like Jay-Z and Beyonce and Diddy. Phenomenal time, and to work with the cast in that particular scene. Interesting fact, Mr. Telephone Man, Ray was able to help them produce, and he wrote that, I think, in a day or 2.
Wow.
They actually, because I went over to Ray's house and we sat down for about 3.5 hours, and we just talked about his whole life and then him working with the group.
Yeah.
And he was just explaining to me that he was actually in Detroit, and he retired at 27. And then the record company flew him out. I think they were in the Bahamas.
Wow.
To be exact, when they shot that. I mean, when they produced it, and they flew him out to the Bahamas, and he went out there, banged it out, man, in 48 hours, and he flew back.
Dang,
Talent.
Did he have any insight to how they were in the studio?
Did he spill some tea?
Well, he said that, he thought the kids were going to be successful. He knew
Yeah.
that for a fact because they had an amazing sound. He said that he did see a lot of the riffs beginning to bubble up at points and times, but the biggest thing was the lack of guidance. He didn't know.
Yeah.
He wasn't too sure about that and the
Right.
management that was taking place.
Yeah. It's kind of dope though, because I was looking and I was like, dang, it's so crazy how we sample music so much. Because,
Yes.
I mean, who would have known back then that 2 Chainz would have Mr. Telephone Man is something wrong with my life. With it. But it's kind of cool how the music thing really did evolve, you know?
But
So,
they nothing was wrong with the line.
Yeah.
She didn't want to talk
no,
to
she
you.
just didn't want to talk to you. Mike said, surely a man would be answering the phone.
Yes.
And so with that, from the studio, they have a little riff situation, so much so that where Mike and Bobby get into it, and they get into it, all right? So much so that they have to, I mean, literally, Mike had a 2-week hiatus from the group. I don't know if you guys knew that. And he had to, like, record separately at some sports and stuff, so that was crazy. But Bobby actually, in turn, saved Mike from being kicked out the group.
Right.
And
But
so...
I thought that was interesting.
I must interject at this part. Someone spits in your face.
You got to.
There has to be like, as much as everyone says like Bobby Brown's like the bad guy and all this other stuff, clearly there has to be some Jesus on the inside of you for that forgiveness.
Yeah, but by that time they're brothers though.
Yeah,
you know
and you
what I'm
fight
saying?
with your
But
brothers and your sisters.
okay,
I understand that. Like, I'm gonna
Spitting
beat
in
your
the
ass,
face.
but after I beat your ass, we're still family.
in the face.
I got one question. Where did that spit come from? Because
That
I
was
want to know.
a big amount of spit. Yeah,
That was some water. That was a water bottle.
It was
Yes, sir.
Squirt. Reminded me of the water emoji.
I think it was some other stuff that would happen after that was left out. That Mike was
Yeah.
talking about. I don't know exactly what it was, but he was like some stuff was left out for the purpose of the story.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was a little bit worse than I guess than that.
Oh, yeah. They
Yeah,
said
I'm
it was
sure.
really
It
bad.
was a build up.
I'm sure there's a lot of things they left out. I mean,
The way
Whitney
they were
Damn
tossing
time.
those girls around too.
Yeah,
They probably was
that's-
passing
yeah.
around
Oh,
somebody's chick.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, yeah. But the thing about it is you have to think, too, we saw them evolve from kids up until, like, men. You know what I'm saying? And so they're going through this transition all together at one point. And so he said, Mike said clear as day, I'm going to get my respect even if I got to take it. And it's crazy because Bobby then turned around and said, I don't want him out the group. It's still our group, right?
Yeah.
And I know he tried to kill me, but did he? You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
And that was actually a line that they said he, like
Actually
said
really
right
said.
then.
Right.
And so it's so crazy how vivid their memories are
Yeah.
about certain situations too. And so we move on from that. Brooke comes back to the group, and so David's doing some bullcrap choreography.
Now, first of all, I respect Brooke for that statement that he made to Gary.
Yeah.
Like, I actually wrote it down. It was really awesome. I just loved
He's
it. But
like,
basically, he said something along the lines of Gary came to the ghetto and found some poor black kids that you
Yeah.
can make some money off, and now you don't know what to do with them.
Right.
We see this happen so many times, and they just take advantage of us,
Oh yeah,
and we just don't get the half of it.
yeah. But Brooke came in and got that thing right, got it together. So it wasn't no worries.
They
It
wasn't
wasn't
doing
even
those
like
great
that.
moves.
They didn't even skip a beat. And
They
to
were so happy
see
to see him.
exactly to see the respect and the reverence that they had for
Right.
him was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
just goes to show how much they respected him. So
And the fact that you didn't hold a grudge.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
because you could easily could have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Easily could have.
He knew they needed him, I felt.
Oh yeah, they
They
missed him.
Plus,
Why Wood Harris? You got to shout out Wood Harris.
yes,
Oh,
Wood
yeah.
Harris so good.
My Wire alumni.
That's a real MVP.
I've
He's
seen
a real one.
Man, I've seen Wood Harris like live on stage theater in New York. He's the truth for sure. Shout outs to him.
Indeed. So then they go and transition into the Cool It Now rehearsal.
gosh.
Cool it down.
And I just absolutely love that song. I just want to highlight that. I think that's my favorite part. All right. And then we fast forward. Bobby's getting arrested and Crab getting
Oh,
pulled up for
gosh.
driving fast.
Doing all these drugs.
Exactly. We find
Yeah.
out that he's dipping and dabbling in drugs. Then going from there, he finds out that he's a dad because he wants to be big and bad in the dressing room. It's like, oh, you want to tell me my business? You can tell me in front of my friends.
Yeah, Luke
oh,
was
you're
like,
a dad.
leave
She
me
in
out of
labor.
this.
You know?
Yeah,
And so
that
Johnny
was
Gill's like, well, damn, I don't know what I done got myself into. with
How
my
they
friends.
gonna do a show talking about no drugs and they in the dressing room doing drugs?
Child, be like that.
Yeah.
So contradicting.
Exactly. And so with that, he finds out he's a dad. Then we learn that Ralph has Xena pregnant
Yeah.
with the baby
Right,
boy.
right.
And then we finally get confirmation that Bobby's doing drugs as they're preparing to get on a
Yeah.
tour.
Right.
And then they're back to square one with the management situation because now they're coming back home. They still don't have any money from Gary, all right?
Right.
And then after that, they're asking for cash advances. Where's my money? What
Yeah.
can I do? Xena's lost the baby. We find out she's lost her mom too. Everybody's just struggling at
Yeah,
this point in
yeah.
part two.
Time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, to cap it all off, Bobby has announced this his last time with New Edition.
Right.
Lord Jesus.
Until we thought so.
Right.
He
Until
came
we
right back
thought,
on that mic.
Child, it came right on back for it. All right.
They need them.
But
checks.
also kudos to Michael for seeing, because everybody didn't have the gift of singing like Ralph. Or
Yeah.
singing, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So kudos for Michael to seeing his talent and then start kind of putting it together and developing it, because Bib Dev Records, Boyz II Men, ABC,
Yeah.
that wouldn't
Well, I
have
think-
happened if he didn't
But
put
I
it
Start
together.
tapping it in.
But it really, you don't always see in yourself what's there. Someone has to kind of like point it out
Yeah.
to you. And that scene in the car where one of the chaperones is part of the team that's been watching them grow up is telling him like, listen, like we see you're smart. You can go to school. You can be under the wing and learn the business. And that moment where he like just marches into the label and is like, yo, what is this? Like, who is this production company? And we got lunch boxes, but my mom is still in the project.
Right.
Like, that's so real, you know? And so I really appreciated that happens. Sometimes we don't see in ourselves our
you
own
need
strength.
somebody to tell you what's the next move for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and so much so that we find out what the next move for Bobby Brown is, and he is on a single pathway.
Yes.
We opened up with him getting his hair cut, and shout out to DC Young Fly because that was the funniest crap
I
ever.
was looking forward to seeing that.
DC Young Fly, so that was kind of funny. I'm like, really, y'all got this fool cut hair?
Yes.
He was just talking too much.
Talking too much and messing around and messed up Bobby's hair.
I didn't know
was
that
a new
was.
fad.
I didn't know that was a mistake. I thought that was on purpose.
Well, the funny thing now is you see all those hairstyles and they're today.
Yeah, everyone's
All the
doing
athletes.
them now.
It's just like,
It seems like some of the best haircuts come from mistakes because that happened with Salt and Pepper too, and like
Right.
a lot of these artists back then.
And I can
haircut
just
was a
see.
mistake. I didn't know.
Yeah. He was talking too much and got distracted and messed around and went across with the clippers, and that's why the haircut was kind of
like
slanted.
asymmetric a little bit.
and
Yeah.
that
You
became
gotta shoot.
and that became a thing.
Yep,
Like
right.
Kid and Play
Everything.
did it. It was
All the other
Yeah.
little boys walking around with the same little haircut.
Yeah.
So it's
Trendsetter.
crazy. So that was cool, and that just goes to show when you're that big of a being,
How much
you know how
influence
much
you
influence
have.
you have
Yeah.
on culture. Period. In which we see throughout this whole 3-part series. So we see that. We also see this Boyz II Men emerge because they're singing for
gosh.
Mike Bivins now, and that was like the best thing ever. I loved how they
Tie
incorporated everything
Everything.
in this,
Yeah.
Except Whitney.
except Whitney.
What's
Well,
that about?
She was
Was
there, but they couldn't find the right person, so they only showed the back of her head. Because she was at the wedding part of it. That's
Okay.
Whitney. But they just like I said, they couldn't find the right. They couldn't find the right
yeah,
Madonna.
she
They
was
couldn't find the right
there.
Whitney, so they're
Yeah.
like, we're not gonna do it.
I
wrong.
thought maybe they didn't have the rights, and that's why they didn't do it.
It was just they couldn't find the right person.
Well,
Yeah.
there
That's
you
what
go.
happened.
Because we would have been
And I'm glad
mad.
they did
Because
that
we would have
justice.
been
Yeah,
tearing
because-
Black Twitter up if we would have.
Yeah, and like they mentioned her once in the news report.
Right.
And then I was like, oh. And I was wondering that from the moment I saw that this part series was going to come out. I was like, is Bobby, they going to talk
she
But
about
they
it?
had
Definitely.
the person I forgot her. Yaya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But maybe contractually she couldn't do it.
Ain't no
We don't
telling.
know.
We know her mom don't play about stuff like
If we
that.
learned one thing from this show, we learned about contracts.
And reading them.
And we learned about doing things the right way,
Yes.
playing in order.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
So with that,
All
they
things.
have the Video Soul interview with Sherry Carter. And this is where we actually really start seeing the guys actually come into who they have become in their own separate lights. And the shade and the pettiness was definitely real. We don't have time to hop into it.
It was
but
real
Lord,
cloudy.
They still couldn't get over certain things, and that really blew my mind.
Yeah.
it takes some people longer than others to see that light,
Child,
self-awareness.
The shade and the pettiness was so real. But it's crazy because 6 years later, they actually went on the Home Again tour.
Right.
And Ronnie laid it out pretty much. He got frustrated and laid it out about Bobby's absence. We've been on X amount of shows so far. He's missed half of
He's
them.
fed up.
Right.
He's late. He's not ready. He's high. He's this. He's distracted. And so Ronnie is we really saw a lot of Ronnie's character out in this episode.
Because he was normally the quiet one.
Yeah,
Didn't
kept
really
it quiet
say
the whole
much.
time. Yep. And so then we see Ricky's drug problem making a debut and not even knowing that it was that bad.
I did not know
I
that
thought
at
it
all.
was pretty ironic because remember that was on the tour bus and Ricky told Bobby, "Look, we all do it too, but you're just dumb enough to show it out in
Right,
the open."
you gotta
he
be
slipped his little
discreet.
flags. He was like, you need to hide it.
Yeah.
So,
Very subtle with that. All right. So
But I will say that Elijah Kelly, like those scenes.
oh, yeah,
he was
he embodied
Oh
that.
Yes,
my
oh my
God.
God.
He
Like,
definitely did.
the rehab scene, the overdose scene. I mean, he's just
phenomenal.
Most definitely. He embodied that to the utmost.
Yeah,
And so
I
with
felt
that,
that.
they go on the tour, the New Mexico tour. Bobby has a performance time. And then after that, he's just like, it is what it is. Ronnie's like, I'm not taking it anymore. I'm done.
Right.
Yeah. Give me that stage. Boop, boop, ba doop, boop, ba doop, ba doop, boop.
Hey.
It's poison time.
Way or another. together.
I'm telling you, and so that's crazy how they even got into that. And but for whatchamacallit, Bobby to go get the water hose, I'm like, bro, come on now. What you gonna do? Put the water out?
I feel like Bobby he probably would have waited to after the show to say something if it wasn't for that security guard. It takes one person
you had
to
one
light
job.
the fire to somebody else, and that's all it took.
It's crazy. And so with that, after the end of it, and they all have this big blow up situation, you know, we see Brooke have a heart attack. It kind of, the guys go all their separate ways. So we see the garnishing of the publishing. Ronnie is now in school. Mike is a record label owner now. Then Ralph is experiencing his divorce after his mom has passed away.
I wish I would have known more about that.
Yeah, they could have dug a little deeper.
I
but
was
I
like,
think they
get divorced because they invested so much time in that story in terms of like from the beginning in the schoolyard, and she's been the sweetheart, and he flew her out. And
but I mean, we saw how the divorce scene played out, so it couldn't have been all, you know, love hearts and and giggles. And so that sucked for them. But to see Ricky as a real deal addict, the biggest thing that I wrote down is that he said that he wasn't addicted to the drug, he was addicted to the feeling. And I thought that was so deep because, as you all know, as entertainers, I mean, we all do acting and things like that. And we all have our passions and our crafts, and when you engulf yourself so much into what you do and what you love to do, you can kind of just lose yourself in the midst of it. But you know that feeling that you get when you're doing it. And so that was kind of dope too to me. But then we get a debut from this really beautiful girl by the name of Rachel. Rachel in the house, who's playing Miss Shamari. And so tell us a little bit about that experience as the wifey of the group.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know everybody wanted Ronnie back then.
Well, girl, how about Shamari? We all love and know Black, right?
Yes.
I worked the Black. I used to perform her as a Clover in school, and her soundtracks. I'm good. That got me through a lot of stuff. I felt like I'm good with or without a man. You know what I'm saying? They were like girl power type of stuff, or like you said, Black Girl Magic,
right,
from back in the day. I originally auditioned for Ralph's wife, and I think that they called me back, seeing our similarities, my personality, and then I booked Shamari. And I was like, Shamari fierce.
So you was good.
I was like, oh, snap. So I was so excited, and let alone just the audition for her. And once I booked her, my God, God is so good. So I'm just very thankful. I'm humbled. She's the coolest, most down-to-earth female. Love her to death.
Yeah.
Super cool.
So you got to kiss.
Girl.
Let's stop the show.
Okay, after this, I need the tea on those lips.
No, you can give us the tea now.
Yeah. So what was the kiss scene like? You know.
I mean, it was a kiss scene. What do you want to know?
Must be like, so was the top more just at the bottom?
Yeah, like I want to know.
So funny.
But everybody was so, and I really appreciated the response from Black Twitter to the whole series. But I don't know if you've gotten a chance to look at Twitter, but they absolutely loved your character, and they loved you in Keith's relationship on, like it was dope. Yeah, it was very believable. And so many times you can see in these biopics and just movies in general how stuff kind of seems like,
and it's cheesy,
scripted, and y'all look. You was like, no, baby, come here, because I know what's going on. Have a seat. And he's like, okay, babe, what's going on? I mean, it felt like he was in high school. You know, like this is somebody that I know. This is a couple that I know.
Yeah.
Keith is so cool. Yeah. And he really made me feel comfortable. Everybody on set, like everybody, the wardrobe, Chris Robinson, like he was saying, is just the bomb. He really was just like, y'all married. Y'all get into this. Y'all, don't play that. When y'all walk in this room, y'all married. So dive into it. And so, and like I said, Keith just really made it easy. He had my back. Because they changed the script a couple times. And I was like freaking out. He's like, don't worry about it. Like, we got this. And so everybody on set just really made it easy to just go into it and do the work. And hopefully, like you said, people liked it.
A lot of people liked it.
We loved it. Spend time with Shamari and Ronnie?
Sorry?
Did you get a chance to like talk and spend time with Ronnie and
Shamari? No, I did not. The first time I met them was at the rap party.
Oh, wow.
Nice. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Getting to meet them for the first time. I have footage of it. It was really dope.
And that's when it set in like, wow, I'm really on set for the New Edition movie.
Sorry?
Did it sit in like, I'm really on set for the New Edition movie?
Yeah, this is New Edition. audition, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a blessing. This is part of history.
This is crazy.
I mean, after 10 years of Jesse working on this, he finally brought it to life.
Yeah,
you know?
they've been working really hard on this script.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And so much so, the wedding was super duper believable. And I'm glad you got your flowers on your cake. All right? Very glad that happened. All right? I was fighting for those flowers. I was like, Ronnie, it doesn't matter. She wants the flowers. Get the flowers.
But I can't eat them though.
It's okay. You don't gotta eat them. It's for the looks.
That scene when the boys was in the back dressing room and he introduced Bobby to be like his best man, and Bobby's like so proud to be there and so honored. All the guys
exactly what
came
I was
in.
getting into.
That was so refreshing to see as a part of the audience because I was honestly kind of tired of seeing them bickering so much and arguing so much. I wanted to see that union and that brotherhood come back, and they finally found a way to get over things. I wanted to see that as a viewer, so I'm glad they showed us that.
Indeed, and I think a lot of the wives and the girlfriends in the movie played a really good role too.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
they were real deal the anchors.
Yep.
You get
They
what I'm
was
saying?
the
Like, hey,
foundation.
listen, you need to stop being stubborn.
Right.
Y'all are friends. Y'all
Right.
are brothers. So it was that constant reminder on
And
every tip.
kudos
That's
to
a real
that
woman.
because
Yeah.
you know, a lot of times when we see in film and TV period, unless women are writing it, unfortunately, sometimes that perspective is missed. The woman's perspective in terms of behind every good man is a strong woman. And that's just the reality of the
true.
situation. And so I really appreciated that they showed the roles that all these women played in the lives of these men because they're all out making the money, but they're at home holding it down. And so, kudos to that.
On every turn.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
From the drugs to the,
Right.
That's a lot of
I
work.
salute
You
all
gotta
them.
put up with a lot.
Most
Did you have a
definitely.
lot of fun when they was filming you at the wedding scene?
Oh, the wedding scene was
Yes,
lit.
they was about to get party.
The wedding scene was lit.
But when they were singing Candy Girl to you, though.
Oh my God!
Listen.
Seriously, it was so much fun. It was like one big party.
Yeah.
You all were just, Elijah likes to clown. Okay.
I can see that.
So before they did my hair and all that stuff, I had y'all know the kitchen.
Yeah.
My kitchen was a little jacked up.
Okay, for our viewers that don't know what the kitchen
Yes,
is,
the
Oh,
kitchen.
Lord.
it's part up under here.
Right back there.
It's a black girl magic thing.
It's a black girl thing.
The pressing cone, the pressing
Oh,
cone.
Mark, this is still the Mark. This is still the Mark.
Black woman? Do you have a black mama?
I do.
Hey, you don't know about the kitchen when the back.
She from
Well, you
Jamaica.
don't press
We gonna school her. We gonna school her.
We
She
go.
got a real kitchen then. If she from Jamaica, she got
He gonna learn today. He gonna learn
That
today.
pressing comb on the stove.
love you, Mom. I love you,
Pressing
Mom.
cone for that gel or that jam.
Oh my God,
So
Jam.
tell me what happened. Elijah was clowning. He just always made fun of you with the kitchen child.
They just like to clown. One of the things I remember is the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because I always check the kitchen.
Yeah.
Thanks for him.
Elijah,
anyway.
leave my friend alone now.
Yes.
No, the wedding scene was lit. We had a blast filming that. It was super fun.
It looked like a real
Oh,
party.
it was the whole girl, and they only showed you bits and pieces. They edited a lot of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I figured they did. When a wedding like that is lit like that, you have to edit.
Yes.
Oh, it was turned
But the
up.
best part that they really did keep, I love that they kept the Candy Girl singing to you. I thought that was so cool. And I loved Brooke's speech. He said how he taught them to be, to move as one and to be professional. But they taught each other how to be men and how to be brothers. And I was like, bro, this just sums up the whole movie.
Yeah,
And the movie, is it going to go to black right now? I felt like that was really the end. But then for Brooke to make a move to the bar and to holler at Stephen Hill. Hello, Stephen.
I know. I was like, Stevie, better get your little cameo.
BT. Make it
Stephen
happen.
got an IMDb 2017 new edition.
Check.
I ain't mad at him.
I ain't mad at him either.
Get
I
that
mean,
check, Steven.
I ain't
Both
mad at
ways. All right. So they perform at the BET 25th Silver Anniversary and
Full circle.
absolutely
Oh my God.
kill it.
What a full circle
And
moment.
everything comes
Yeah,
together.
it's beautiful.
Favorite moment out of that, and we'll go around because I want to know. I loved the "Can You Stand the Rain" segment.
Oh my
When
God.
they flash back,
Yes.
and that was my favorite flashback moment. I love "Can You Stand the Rain." What about you?
For me, the whole thing, I think it was just set up so beautifully. Like,
Yeah.
BT is just smart how they wrapped it up like that. Like, for that to be the ending, for it to be montaged in that way, it was beautiful. I loved it. But Can You Stand the Rain is my favorite song of all
Gotcha.
time for New Edition.
TK.
So a little political stuff because that's how I do. I mean, I like it's life.
Yeah.
So they portrayed black people like we're not all drug dealers. We have our problems, but we have positive role models. We can come out on top. So I love the way how from the writing and BET putting it on, it's like we can put something on and people are going to watch. And then you have the actors. We have actors who know what they're going to do. And then you have the story. Because I remember like with New Edition, like I kind of heard of them and stuff like that. And you knew the songs, but I was so young, you still didn't understand all. These were adult stuff that they're going with. So you're seeing them going through all this transition and then today come out still being brothers, producers on the show. It's just like, Black people can do it, and here's an example, all encompass. So it's just like,
TK said all of it.
All of it. And they got their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yes.
Come on.
just send that package to Trump.
What you got, D?
I just feel like they just did an amazing job. Like I said, I learned so much as an up-and-coming talent in Hollywood, what to do, what not to do. And I think the most valuable thing is to make sure you have your staples to keep you grounded. I think Brooke was that staple for them. And in some ways, sometimes they were for each other. And I think that's most important. You have to stay grounded and remove ego. That ego is going to destroy you. But,
so many examples.
Excellent story.
Indeed. What you got for us? What was
Like
your takeaway?
just to, agree with you guys. The Can You Stand the Rain? That's my favorite song too. Oh my God. And the visuals, just bouncing off of that when they transition the young boys to the men.
Oh my God.
that was
So you
That
can
was
have
good.
that. How we talked about that.
Yeah, that was
So
good.
I think the ending kind of can, jump off the back of that, and we just really see these men have dedicated their entire lives to these young boys
To entertain.
and we've seen the trials, the tribulations, and in the end we see the beauty, the growth, the caterpillar stage, the butterfly stage, and just the beauty to
you get to
this
see the
day. They are
transition.
still new addition to raise them. So God bless them. God bless them.
What you got, Mel?
I want to piggyback off that. The transition was my favorite part of it, but definitely the end and how it ended. Because I remember being there, and like they were on point as New Edition. It's like when I see the actors, I see New Edition. I don't see actors, and that's what I love about telling a story when you take it so serious. Where it's like Algie was Ralph. I'm like I was on set with him. I'm like, dude, you got those Ralph swag, like over the jacket. The kids, like everybody was just on point. Like I'm like,
For sure.
the casting was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it is. I'm honored. Like I said, just because the fans, so to see this story being told and everybody to be on point, like it's done right.
Yeah. What you got, Noel?
Yeah, Can You Stand the Rain? Without a doubt. I mean, if you look at the challenges, and I think we talked about this at the premiere, the challenges that the group went up against, throughout their entire life. And you think about a lot of the shine that they received, and the rain ultimately was able to help them grow to becoming what they are today. But they needed both the shine and the water and the tragedy in many regards to become and evolve into the group that they are today.
Yeah, because that girl, I don't know if you guys know, but seriously, it was, and I got a chance to interview Michael Bivins, and he actually talked a lot in depth about like the double entendre of the meaning of the song, because it wasn't just so much a hey girl, I'm sad and I miss you, can we stay in the rain? Right. No, but you hear that, like, girl, I need you because I need you to be my rock, and I'm dealing with this stuff with my brothers, and this is a lot going on that I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And I need to know, can you stand the rain with me, and can we stand the rain through all of this extra?
Right. I feel like Jesus. Really about My Prerogative was like the same thing too. Him like explaining himself, his personality, how nobody understands him. Like I felt like that was very fitting too.
Music Real Deal was these men's life, and for them to dedicate themselves to us and to the culture for X amount of years, and to give us the music that Real Deal live on. This for us now, I feel like since this movie has come to light, for people as young as 18, 19 to be watching this, I feel like this is like our new day, like Frankie Beverly and Maze. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. This is now going to be a staple to where Candy Girl has to be played at your wedding. You know what I'm saying? It just has to. It's no other way. It's like, you make me Candy. You have to have it. It's a staple.
Yeah, my wedding.
Hello.
I'm the only one that heard Candy Girl. It would always take me to the Love and Basketball scene.
God. I got that vibe in the beginning of the movie. When Ralph was trying to do the karate tricks, I got that vibe.
And the thing too, on top of that, the fact that a lot of people associate Candy Girl with Michael Jackson, Jackson 5. This is a whole education lesson because there's a huge population that doesn't even know about New Edition. We're not talking about who they are, but this is like now they're introducing them to a whole nother crowd. So, kudos to that. And also, Ricky Bell for being so humble. So
Yes.
it's just kind of crazy. I used to run from Mount Sac. Just a quick story. I used to run from Mount Sac. He actually came. Mount Sac Relays is a big deal, big thing. He came and met some of the athletes. Like, we connected. I'm like, oh my God, my mom loves you. He came to all my track meets at Mount Sac. So shout out to Ricky Bell. I am so proud of him.
Wow.
So
When he stated that, what do you want me to do? Get another job? This is all I know.
I was
I've
gonna say
been
that. I'm
doing
like, yeah,
this. This is all
exactly.
I know. That was so true because literally they grew up
They grew up.
dancing and performing. It's no other job for them. This is all they know how to do. They didn't have a job at McDonald's or Foot Locker, you know?
Right.
That really touched me because I was like, wow, like this is really all they know. How's he going to survive? How's he going to get the bills paid?
When you dedicate yourself to it, though, that it makes it all the
gonna
more
come through.
worthwhile. But I know I have definitely enjoyed myself. One of my favorite, I do have to share a favorite memory before I get out of here. I was in college, my senior year of college, and I got an internship with BET. And I got the opportunity to work the Soul Train Awards in 2012. That was the year that they got the Lifetime Achievement Award. And I had never, ever seen them perform, ever. And I always listened to them growing up. Shout out to my mom and dad. That was just cleaning day music, you know, it just happens like that in the Black House. And I got a chance to actually be around them, walk them down the carpet, and see them perform, see them practice. And I was just like, dang, these guys are old, but they got it together. They got swag. You know what I'm saying? And to see that and for that to be the only performance really deal that I've seen them do, and for them to win that Lifetime Achievement. Lifetime is a long time.
Yes.
And it's a lot of worth behind that word lifetime. And for you to get that award when you like in your 40s, like 50s, that's some real deal achievement. You know what I mean? And so, needless to say, shout out to Chris Robinson, shout out to Mr. Abdul, shout out to BET. This was absolutely phenomenal, and I feel like it links so many. Like, you guys, it makes me kind of happy. I'm kind of getting teary eyed. No, seriously, because this was real deal. I don't ever people say all the time, oh, that was a real good thing for us. You know what I'm saying? We shining or we glowing or whatever. And we're so used to saying those words all the time that they're kind of like commonplace now. Right. But this real deal BET, looking dead at y'all, y'all did this for the culture.
For real.
And from the bottom of my heart, along with everybody in here, I think that we can all agree that this was for the culture. Y'all have no idea how much of a big role y'all have played in moving 2017 forward for us. So I thank you all.
Black excellence. Black excellence.
Because this one goes down for the culture.
Because it could have been a flop and that would have been it.
I'm telling you.
I mean, it's.
But y'all really do. Y'all have pushed culture forward with this. So
reading the script alone was like, oh my God. I was like 3 o'clock in the morning reading the script like, this is going to happen on BET? I'm in. For real?
For 6 hours. And y'all did it for 3 days with millions of followers. So y'all are
Shout
culture
out to the
shakers.
new edition, like you said, Brashear, Algie, Key,
y'all all did
and
it.
Elijah. They killed it.
Even the makeup and wardrobe.
Everybody.
The little track that was
Anybody, cast and crew, shout out to all of y'all. And I'm just glad we did it for the culture one time. For the one time. This has been another great production here at AfterBuzz Television with New Edition Story live recap with BET. I'm your host, Allie Washington. You can catch me across all social media platforms at Allie the Pub.
Sally here. Catch me on all things at Sally Hangout.
My name is TK Trinidad, everything at TK Trinidad. And also, make sure you comment on the YouTube page, AfterBuzz, all that good stuff. Hit us up with the comments, let us know what you think, and let us know, and let the artists know what you think as well.
Take it back to what TK said. We're going to respond back to y'all, so make sure y'all in our check-ins, DMs, chats, everything.
No DMs.
Hit me on Dominique Cerita on Instagram and Twitter.
Rachel Currence at Rachel_Currence. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Melvin Jackson Jr. and everything. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Noel Braham. Make sure you guys follow me at Noel_Braham and Noel Braham on Twitter. Thank you guys.
All right, and there you have it. It's been another AfterBuzz production. We're out. Can you stand the rain? Can you?
Got them coolers now. Oh, that's so.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Candy Girl!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.